Hi, Kate here from the Safeguarding Academy and welcome to this week's 5-minute masterclass. This week we're talking about pre-proceedings meetings. You may remember from the last couple of 5-minute masterclasses we've been looking at the child in need process and also at child protection conferences. The pre-proceedings meeting comes after child in need process and after a child protection conference. It is a relatively new concept in the world of child protection and is a new tool for social workers to use to try and improve standards for children in their home and to make sure that children's needs are being met while still giving them, that is parents, a chance to meet their children's needs outside of the court arena. So the pre-proceedings meetings came into being in 2010, and it was in 2010 when the government felt with the judiciary, so all the judges who do care proceedings cases, that cases were taking too long and things needed to happen much quicker for children. And so the government and the judges looked at where things were starting to get stuck and whether there was a bottleneck in proceedings and where the whole process could be improved for children. And they came up with the idea that actually more work should be done before a case even comes to court. So parents essentially should be given a serious warning and a last chance almost to do everything that is needed of them in order to make sure that their children's needs are being met. And in order to do so, they have started the pre-proceedings process. Now, during that process, as I say, it's a really serious step, and it's a step up from the Child Protection Conference. And that means there is public funding available for parents to be legally represented at a meeting with children's social care. And it's at that meeting where the social worker, usually the team manager, will chair that meeting, and they will set out what the concerns are. They will tell parents very clearly what the issues are, what parents need to do in order to prevent the local authority from going into court for court proceedings, and they will set a timetable for parents to do the work that they need to do. The whole process doesn't sit in isolation. There are often cases where a child conference will still continue. So there may have been a child protection conference, which has then led to further discussions during the looked after children reviews that say, actually, something more needs to happen here. Parents really aren't doing what they need to do, so we need to take it up a level. Then, if that's the decision that's made, what happens is a social worker will speak to their team manager and they will ask permission to see whether or not they have grounds to start court proceedings. The reason they're looking at whether or not there are grounds to start court proceedings is because if a pre-proceedings meeting does not have the desired effect, the next step is that of court proceedings. So it is a really serious step, and a social worker has to be sure that they're on the right footing before they begin this process. It is a very structured process, so part of the planning has to be around what steps will be taken, what is expected of parents, and how are a local authority going to get out of the pre-proceedings stage. So things like, if parents do X, then Y will happen, which could be, in the real world, if parents comply with the drug testing and drug treatment programs, then the local authority, if they're having negative drug tests and they're engaging well with these drug testing programs, the local authority won't issue care proceedings. Equally, if parents are keeping the children clean, keeping the home tidy, getting children to school on time, and not being aggressive and not being rude and difficult, then the local authority won't issue care proceedings. Equally, if none of that happens or a lot of it doesn't happen, then the local authority will look at issuing care proceedings. So you'll see there has to be a very sure footing before this step can be taken, which is why there is legal advice available to parents, and also a lawyer from the local authority is usually present at that meeting. That's a very quick run through what a pre-proceedings meeting is, and also at what stage we're at. Until next week, have a lovely week, and this is Kate from the Safeguarding Academy saying thank you very much.